Hello, this is Joe83, and this is my review of the Brazilian Grand Prix, which just finished, and Sebastian Vettel won the race. Quite a dominant victory, pretty good stuff from him. He got the lead off the line after overtaking Valtteri Bottas, who qualified on pole, and then just dominated from there on. It was quite close with Bottas going for the undercut when they pitted, but Vettel always had that in the bag, really. The Mercedes is so bad in dirty air that, it was never really a chance for Bottas to overtake him. And then Bottas did have to settle for second place after getting pole position. I don't know if it was shocking, it just weren't very good from Bottas really. The Mercedes was way faster than the Ferrari this weekend, and if he'd have got a good start then he probably would have beaten Vettel, but that's what it comes down to sometimes. And yeah, Bottas didn't do very well today, I don't think. From pole, ended up second place, and Raikkonen rounded out the podium with a double podium finish for Ferrari. And the race on the whole was alright. It was very exciting at the start with Hamilton and Ricciardo being quite low down on the grid after their issues in qualifying with the penalty for Ricciardo, and Hamilton binning it in qualifying. And Hamilton did end up with a very good fight back to fourth place. And in the first 20 laps or so, he was just dive-bombing everywhere. It was really exciting stuff from Hamilton. I'm not a Hamilton fan, but even for me, it was fun to watch. Very good racing from Hamilton, and he very nearly got Raikkonen at the end, but not quite enough laps for him to overtake. But yeah, then quite a long way back to Verstappen and Ricciardo. Verstappen ended up with fastest lap just because he fancied setting it. I think he didn't have to pit, but they pit him anyway because he wanted to get the lap record, I think anyway. And then fifth place for Verstappen, sixth for Ricciardo. The best Red Bull could have hoped for really this track. Clearly the Mercedes and Ferrari are way faster on it than the two Red Bulls, but yeah, fifth and sixth, what more can you do really? They got a double finish, which is a rarity this season to be honest. And then seventh place, Felipe Massa. The emotional across the line when his kid came on the radio, that was pretty touching. But seventh place, best of the rest in his last race. I think that's the first time that Williams have been best of the rest, maybe since Australia. I might be wrong with that, but very good result from Massa, seventh, and in his final race he didn't crash out like he did last year in what was meant to be his final race in Brazil. But obviously, as next week at Abu Dhabi, but Brazil is his home race, and it might as well be the finale. Who cares about Abu Dhabi really? And then eighth place, Alonso, decent from McLaren, got a good start. Massa got an excellent start actually. Come back to him from I think ninth up to sixth or fifth. Yeah, it was fifth at that point because obviously the Hamilton and Ricciardo were low down the grid. So it was up to fifth temporarily, and then Alonso was behind him and couldn't overtake at all for the whole race really. And then ninth was Perez, who came on with a fight back at the end. It was very close between those three, Massa, Alonso and Perez. And Hulkenberg rounding out the points. I'm pretty happy. He ruined Sainz the whole weekend. Sainz was pretty outshone by Hulkenberg the whole race and the whole weekend, and Hulkenberg got the points. Sainz didn't, proving that Hulkenberg, well, I think anyway, is the better driver at this point. Obviously Sainz is a bit younger, got a bit more potential, but I'm a Hulkenberg fan, so I'm pretty happy. His first point since Spa, and it is just 1 point, but I'm sure I'll take that after how unlucky he's been getting with retirements lately. And then 11th, Sainz, a lap down, so is Hulkenberg. And Gasly in 12th, he did a solid job. He overtook Stroll quite well into turn 1, and the Toro Rosso is just an absolute boat at the minute. It's awful. They've been absolutely left behind in the development race, so not too good. And Ericsson and Verline, I think Verline was running ahead of Ericsson for quite a while, but maybe he had to pit again, I'm not quite sure. But yeah, Verline actually ended up behind Ericsson in the battle of the Saubers in 13th to 14th, with Grosjean underperforming massively. He caused a crash at the start with Esteban Ocon, got a penalty for that. And yeah, ended up 15th. He couldn't even catch the Saubers, and that sort of says it all really. And Stroll at 16th after a puncture on one of the last laps curtailed his attempt. I think he was 13th anyway, so it wasn't going to go very well. And then 7th, well, it's not 17th, retired cars were Brendan Hartley, who obviously not all Renault engines are going to get to the end of the race, so Hartley with the compulsory engine failure for Renault and Toro Rosso, as it seems lately. Retired on about lap 50, I think, with Esteban Ocon taken out on lap 1 by Grosjean understeering through turn 5. And then Magnussen and Van Dorn both out. After Magnussen, it was 3 wide in turn 1 with Ricciardo on the left, Van Dorn in the middle, Magnussen on the right. Magnussen speared into the side of Van Dorn, which then spun Ricciardo as well. So yeah, Magnussen and Van Dorn both out. Ricciardo had to pit on lap 1. The safety car came out for a bit, but it went through the pits anyway, so Ricciardo didn't actually lose too much. And yeah, it was a decent race. I could probably get about 6 out of 10. One of those ones that you're probably not going to remember in future years, but it was still a decent spectacle. Very good overtakes from Ricciardo and Hamilton, and that one on Gasly and Stroll was pretty good as well, I thought. And good battling with the Massa Alonso Perez sort of thing, and very emotional for Massa. Very nice to see. And then that is going to be the end of this video. If you did enjoy it, and leave a like, subscribe if you want to see more. Comment what you thought on the race. Did you think it was good or not? And this has been J83, and I will see you next time.